Somebody say he's in the Spirit. He's on the Lord. He's in the Spirit on the Lord's day. He's in tribulation, but he's still in the kingdom. Come on, somebody. Somebody shout, he's still in authority. Glory to God, though he's in trouble. He's still in power. He's still in spirit, though he's in suffering. Come on, anybody hear the Holy Ghost? Look at your neighbor. Say, it's time for your faith to mature. Somebody's behind you. The sound of victory. It's Jesus. You need to learn how to stay in the Spirit, even though you're suffering, even though you're in trouble. Somebody shout, stay in trial. He didn't let, he didn't let being in suffering keep him out of the Spirit. Some people can't even stay in church, much less the Spirit. Somebody say, in the Spirit, though he was suffering. I heard that sound. I can't get away from it. He heard that sound. And when God told him in verses 9 of Revelation 1 that he was here because of the testimony of Jesus and the Word of God that he had been preaching, I don't believe this was just a past word that he was now presently being persecuted for. I believe he was also there for the future word. He was there for the revelation of Jesus Christ. Revelation 1:1. Look at your neighbor, say, you're in this island where you seem so isolated, where it seems like nothing makes any sense. God don't even make no sense. Why you would be suffering this way, why he seems to not answer you when you pray for the things you're praying for. And you've been asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? God said, not necessarily is it something you're doing wrong. Maybe it's what's been done right. Because God says, I got things I want to show you. God said in 1 Corinthians 12:1, Paul said, I come to visions and revelations. But then he talked about, amen, glory to God, I don't know if I was in my body or out of my body when I was taken up into a third heaven. Come on, somebody. I believe this is when Paul had been stoned and been left for dead. He had an out-of-body experience. Come on, somebody. But he said, I have come to visions and revelations. He even said in 1 Corinthians 12, in verses 9, I will most gladly rejoice in my infirmities, so the power of Christ can rest upon me. He said in verses 8, I besought the Lord 3 times that he might remove this thorn from me. Amen. He said, but back in verses 7, there was a thorn given to me in my flesh. Come on, somebody, unless I be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelation. So Paul, right there, as we go in rapid reverse, we find out that the thorn was a gift. We find out that the place that made no sense was a gift from God. Why? So he wouldn't get exalted above measure through the abundance of revelation that was coming. Somebody shout, you've been suffering for the revelation to come. You've been suffering for the vision to come. You've been suffering for the dream to come, because God says you must suffer before it comes to pass. You must suffer before I show you things to come. And that I want to do. God had him in that island that made no sense. And friend, if you've not stepped into an arena with God where he makes no sense, just keep breathing. You'll experience puberty in your faith after a while. Because I got a word from the Lord right now. There's some of you in the island of Patmos where you are. God says it is possible for you to stay in the Spirit though you have no understanding. Because to pray in the Spirit is to pray, according to 1 Corinthians 14:2, without any understanding. Your understanding's unfruitful, but yet you speak in the Spirit. You pray in the Spirit. You say mysteries unto God. Come on, somebody. Somebody shout, in the Spirit often means I have no understanding. I can't figure it out in the flesh. This don't make no sense. Why am I here? Why does it look like the wicked are prospering? It looks like the wicked ain't got nothing going on wrong, and here I am. God says you got to understand, hallelujah, by faith, that the worlds were framed by the word of God, and the things which are seen are not made by the things which do appear. Hebrews 11:3. Somebody shouts, that's how you understand, through faith. You don't understand through logic. You understand through faith. By faith, I trust the Lord with all my heart, and I stop leaning to my own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. So in the Spirit means I have no understanding. My understanding's unfruitful. It's a mystery. But he was in the Spirit. I can see John praising him, saying, I don't know why I'm here, but you're still worthy. I don't know why you let this happen to me, but you're still great. You're still a mighty wonder-working God. And I praise you. This is your day. Even this day that's the hardest day of my life, that appears to be the worst day of my life, Lord, I still surrender this day and even this time, this season of suffering to you. And that's when Jesus walked up behind him sounding like a trumpet. If God can watch you on your island where it makes no sense and find you in your suffering, sing his praise and worship him. Come on, somebody. That's the most authentic praise you can give him, is when he makes no sense, when you can't even trace him, but you trust him, and you let out a sound of trust, amen, and you worship him in spite of. That's when he'll walk up behind you and he'll sound like a trumpet, shouting, you will have victory. Somebody shout, that's the sound of the shofar. That was the sound of Jesus. That was his word then, and it's your word now. Victory will be yours. Hold on a little while longer. Victory's yours. Just hold on a little while longer. I'm not going to leave you in this island to die. Somebody say, in trouble, but he was in the Spirit. He was in suffering, but he was in the Spirit. That's the only way you're going to survive this island that makes no sense. Stay in the Spirit. And somebody shout, in the Spirit. Most of the time my understanding's unfruitful. That means when I can't figure God out, that's when I'm the most in the Spirit. When I can't understand why in the world would he be allowing this to happen. Come on, somebody shout, that's when you're in the Spirit. I can't pray in the Spirit until I run out of everything to pray in my natural man. Somebody shout, I don't understand, because God's trying to bring me into the Spirit. Because really that's the only place you can hear God's voice. That's where John heard it. Listen.